Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Academy. So in today's lecture we shall be discussing about the schemes and policies of Indian government that are relevant for your UPSC examination for the month of June. So for today, since we are starting with the month of June, we have June 2025. That means we will be discussing about the government policies and scheme which are relevant for your ISS examination. Now, talking about the first scheme which talks about Navya. अब in order to remember the scheme, आप नव्या को याद रख सकते हो since Navya is the name of a girl, so therefore you can remember that it is somewhat related to girls. ठीक है, Navya means reference to new. Nav means new, so like that you can refer to new girls. New girls matlab those girls who are of adolescence or who are in their adolescence. So for them the scheme is launched was launched actually on June 2025. Now the ministry, which ministry is involved, since it deals with the girls, so therefore girls of adolescent age, therefore child and women development ministry shall be involved in this. And this scheme has the skill development and entrepreneurship. Therefore, the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship shall also be included. Now, what is its aim? It aims to empower the adults and girls with vocational and future-ready goals. Vocational goals are such goals that means they would be providing you with the skills which are beneficial to get to a particular job. So those are the vocational jobs. So providing jobs, providing those skills for after which certain girls or age certain girls of certain age can get to a particular job and they can get empowered. Next is girls from aspirational and tribal districts across India. Beneficiaries would be the tribal community, of course, because they are lagging behind. As we are thinking that we have moved forward by making the president of India from the tribal community, but still there are very, very, very tribes that are still untouched by the government sector. Therefore, this is the basic initiative by which we can touch those people. Another thing is why it is in news. It is in news because it was launched as joint initiative focusing on gender inclusive skill under PMKY KVY 4.0. So gender inclusive skills are again important because it deals only with the one gender, that is the female, which is lagging behind, and also in that the tribal community. Therefore, it is quite important. Another thing what you can mention in it, you can mention about the empowering of women empowerment. You can mention human capital development will be increased, like many people would be empowered or entrepreneur, therefore the human capital will be increasing across India, therefore you would be creating capital. So that is again related to your economy and finance. Now, another thing is Skill Mission India. Skill India Mission refers to the mission in which everyone in India or every citizen is skilled. We all are skilled, though, in order to prioritize our skills, we have certain goals, certain policies which the government is giving to us. Therefore, they will also help us to get somewhat skilled in another. Like you are studying, that is one skill of yours, but along with that you might be using a dance class of yours, you might be skating, you might be swimming, like those sort of things are there. So they are adding extra skills to your catalog, so that is also important. Coming on to the next scheme, we have Digi scheme. Digi scheme again is a reference to digitalization of India. In Andhra Pradesh, you need to remember the name, since Lakshmi is part of Andhra, so therefore you can remember like that. Lakshmi bhag gai Andhra Pradesh. So with that, Digi Lakshmi refers to what? Andhra Pradesh scheme it is based on. Now, digital economic empowerment or urban poor women. Lakshmi can be name of woman first of all. Okay. First of all, Lakshmi is name of a girl. Secondly, a girl can be like beneficiaries. Girl is beneficiary. From Lakshmi, you would be getting a name of a girl, means beneficiary, and along with it, you would be getting its ministry as well. Ministry is again Women and Child Development Ministry. So, two things from one part we are getting. And another thing that we can learn is Lakshmi bhag kar gayi Andhra Pradesh. Therefore, from in which state it has been launched? It has been launched in Andhra Pradesh. Therefore, it is again important or vital. Now, urban poor women. This is not a rule that poor women would be found only in rural region. Poor women are also found in urban areas. So, places in Andhra Pradesh where urban population is there. So, there are women who are struggling with again the poverty. So, in order to eradicate it from the state, the government of Andhra Pradesh has bought this Digi Lakshmi scheme. Now, this will be self-help group women in urban areas. Another thing, suppose one family, one entrepreneur mission means one family would be having at least an entrepreneur that would be able to support the whole family, and that entrepreneur, because it belongs to women community, so women would be the entrepreneur. Another thing that you can mention about in this scheme is again the digitalization of India. The thought that government is thinking to digitalize India, so that is the basic thing that you can mention. And self-help group also you can mention by providing the uh, uh, employment or the entrepreneurs the internships, or we can say the specific amount of loans to the people at very low interest rates. Another thing is urban poverty elevation. That means it has to be elevated or eradicated from the state so that we can increase the human capital or we can increase the productivity of the state. Another thing is zero poverty Uttar Pradesh campaign. Since June was the session in which many different states came on forward in order to lay out a various or a basic scheme for their own states. So therefore, firstly we studied about the Andhra Pradesh, and another one that we shall be studying about is UP. That means zero poverty. We are focusing on eradication of the poverty. So at that time, in June, so the government decided to eradicate poverty from the whole state. Therefore, state brought up new policies so that their state or their referral matter or their referral public can become can get rid of this poverty. So we have okay. Now what we have is we have zero poverty in UP campaign. It was just a campaign, not actually a scheme. So okay. It aims to eliminate again the extreme poverty conditions. Yesterday, I told you in yesterday's lecture that after the buildment or the construction of the airport in Ayodhya, the state of the people has been raised to a certain level in Ayodhya because there were very slum areas. Obviously, slum areas are everywhere inside the state, or in every state there are slum areas. Sometimes they are they are chosen by the government and sometimes they are ignored by the government. So that depends on what type of government you are in. So in UP we have a government which aims to eradicate this poverty. That means we shall be focusing on getting a poverty level to zero. To eliminate extreme poverty through convergence of welfare schemes. Convergence of welfare schemes refers to so many schemes are there for the welfare of the public. Therefore, we shall be combining all those schemes so that the outcome can be huge. If it is like acting like an additive property. What does additive property says? Additive property says, see, if I am having one apple and you are having two apples, let's combine those apples, you and me, let's combine those apples, and we both together would be having three apples. Alone I was having one, you were having two, so now since we have combined we are having three. So that refers to additive property. So again it is nothing but the convergence of the welfare schemes. Since all schemes are based on the welfare of the public, therefore there would be convergence of those schemes. Now, identification of ultra poor. See, extreme poverty has been given a biases upon, and the ultra poor people has also been given a biases upon, which refers to skill training, employment linkages, and certain things. Now we have the identified ultra poor households in the state. Those people who are quite ultra poor shall be benefited. Next we have is convergence of central and state welfare schemes. Then is poverty alleviation strategies and corporation federalism. Federalism came from which constitution, you can say? Constitution. So you need to tell federalism word has been taken from which country's constitution. This is your homework. Okay. Next is we have FASTag annual pass policy. This policy is basically, since it is FASTag, so while crossing various highways or going from one state to another, you must have passed through various FASTags. So that basically refers to nothing but road and transport highways, whose ministry belongs to no other than but Mr. Gadkari. ठीक है तो Gadkari, you can remember Gadi. Gadi refers to what? This is how I remember things. So Gadkari refers to Gadi, and Gadi is nothing but car, and car has to be driven upon on the road. So like that, you can just create references and you can learn. Okay, the policy features is 1 year FASTag pass for non-commercial private vehicles. Okay, commercial private vehicles have their own passes, but here non-commercial private vehicles shall also be given their passes, because every time you are coming now and then. See, non-commercial people come only twice or thrice a week. Thrice a year, or most frequently they can come, say approximately within 6 to 8 months, like that they can come. So for those people who have very less, or we can say not very frequent visits, so for them you can just have those passes. For FASTag annual passes, these passes are called. Now the beneficiaries would be, again, since we are talking about the private vehicles, so the owners of the private vehicles would be the beneficiaries. Now the mode of implementation would be nothing but, since we are focusing on the digitalization, therefore the mode of focusing will be digital. Then for UPSC relevance, you can add on about the transport reforms, digital payments, and infrastructure of the governance. Now we are moving on to the next one. For the next one, we have Naksha program. Naksha refers to the map. Naksha program refers to the map. Okay. This says what? Urban land survey. In urban areas, you would be going on a survey, and that is known as what? Naksha program. So this is basically related to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. For this, there is modernization of urban land records. Modernization of urban land records will again help you to survey where the modernization is needed, where the urban population is there, where the urbanity has been reached, or where is still there the rural public residing. Like this, you can tell, or you can just conclude via surveys. Another thing is goals. Goals are like use of geospatial technology for accurate land surveys. These would be the goals, like what you all can use, what sort of technology you would be following while going on surveys or while claiming your aim. Another thing is beneficiaries. Obviously, since we are talking about the urban land, so urban local bodies shall be benefited by this, and also the city planners shall be benefited. Now, the current status, what, where, till where have this survey reached? So it says that capacity building and master trainer programs are underway. In order to mention more about it, you can tell about the urban governance, and their administrative reforms can also be mentioned. Now we have the key CCA approvals. What all were approved? So in agriculture, there was International Potato Center, that is South Asia Regional Club. This has been the important thing for UPSC, so you need to learn it. About environment, if we take, so it has been revised. Jharia Master Plan for coal like control infrastructure, it says Pune Metro Phase 2 has been approved. And if we talk about its objective, it says boost research, rehabilitation, and urban connectivity is also there. If you talk about the UPSC relevance, it says that cabinet decision making has been there. So these are the again approvals. In approvals, you can mention them. then infrastructure you can mention, and their environmental policy has to be mentioned. So this was all for today, and thank you and keep watching.